the Aztec grew up in the middle exactly in the pistilos, and after the few days we have one beautiful cocoa. About turn the color or change the color 4 times. The green represent like grow up, the oil flavor like come from the tree behind you. This one is for Azteco from South America, and the other one is
Who's your currency?
No sigo estudiando.
Yenes?